Hello everyone, this is Professor DeSimone-Shabrack and I'm going to give you a quick overview on how to use your virtual machine, especially if you're using a Mac or did not purchase the Microsoft Office suite of products. You can certainly use the virtual machine to access them. So if you go to the Eagle Apps page here on NCCU's website, there's an actual login page. It says eagleapps.nccu.edu, so go ahead and click on that. And then you get this little message that says VMware Horizon. So VM means virtual machine, which essentially means that you are going to be utilizing a virtual machine via web server. So it's not a physical computer that's sitting out on a desk somewhere. It's just made to look like it's a computer sitting somewhere on a desk. So you are actually just sending information out to the server and saying, I'd like to utilize these programs as if I were sitting at a computer. So we're going to go ahead and click on this virtual machine link here to the right that says VMware Horizon HTML access, which means that you're just accessing it through a web browser. That's essentially what that means. And then you're going to go ahead and log in with your username and password that you would use for Blackboard. And then once you've done that, you have this nice, great menu that comes up with all the different apps that are available to you. The one we're going to be utilizing for the most part this semester is the Access program. And then we're also going to be using OneDrive for Business. Now, OneDrive is a cloud storage system, and I know that during class I had mentioned to you all that you also are provided a Google Drive that can be used along with your NCCU email. So your eagles.nccu.edu, you also have access to a Google Drive where you can store information via the cloud. Now, this program, however, through OneDrive is available through the VM server, which means that when you're using Access, you can back it up on the OneDrive and it's available to you via tablet, computer, phone, whatever device that you're utilizing. But it also gives you the versatility to be able to send the information to other students where you can't directly send the database information that you've created from the Access app itself. You can send it though from the OneDrive, and I will show you how to do that. So if you go into Access 2016, click on that. It takes a moment to open. Once it does, you should see a template list on the right-hand side, and then any recent documents that you've been working on the left. To the right, as I said, there's all these other different templates that are out there, and I encourage you, as you have time, to go through and look at them because some of them have some really neat programming in them. But for the most part, to start out with, you're going to start with a blank database for your first project anyway. Once you've completed the first one, you're going to continually update it with the new instructions at the end of each chapter. So you're going to be adding more information to it as you go along. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm just going to do a quick overview of this. I'm not going to get into great detail. You can see the demonstration for chapter 1 and it will be the same exact information as it would be for any user of Access, whether it's the virtual machine or the actual downloaded program. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on this once. By clicking on it once, it asks me, okay, this is a blank database. What would you like to call it? So I'm going to call it Amanda 3. Because you can see I've used a couple of them today to do some test models. So we're going to go ahead and say Amanda 3 and say create. And you can see when it comes up, the name is listed at the top. Okay, to say this is the Amanda 3 file. Any objects I have open would be to the left. So an object could be your table, forms, anything that you've created for this Access database can be shown in the pane to the left here. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and create anything. As I said, it would be in the chapter 1 video, but I'm going to go ahead and close out this table because I'm not utilizing it and say I wanted to save this actual database so that I can access it later. Any of the work that I've done, I want to make sure everything is saved properly. So I say save as, and you can see it says save as database, access database, and then click save as. Now where it says save as object or save object as, excuse me, that would be if I were just updating tables and I wanted to save the table itself. Another reason for that is if I had multiple databases and I wanted to copy a format of say a table or form into another database, you can certainly do that as a separate object, but that's a little advanced and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But save database as and click Save As down here. And then it says, where would you like to save it? Now, if I save it right here, you can see it says local disk, and it actually already has saved it as a backup copy right on this virtual machine. So it's as if it was sitting on a desktop and a computer somewhere. Then I could access it on the local desktop. However, because I want to be able to utilize this at whatever computer I'm sitting at, or I want to be able to look at it on my phone or tablet, I'm going to actually say save it to my OneDrive. So if you go over here to the left, it says OneDrive. Again, every student has this, and I'm going to, for some reason, it added a 1 there, so I'm going to say save as Amanda 3 and click Save As. So it will start saving that in the background. It does take a couple minutes for it to update. But I did want to make mention, if it says enable content here, you want to make sure that you say enable content, because any scripting or anything in the background that has been updated, you want to make sure it's running properly. So just say enable content. So we'll go ahead and close this out. And then you get all your apps again over here to the left. And I'm going to go click on OneDrive for Business and see if it's updated it. And sure enough, there it is. It's saying it's actually updating as we speak. So give it a moment to do that. But if I were sitting on just online on my computer at home and I wanted to check and see if it was there, I could go to the onedrive.com. So to get to OneDrive, you can go ahead and just type that in the Google box. It would come up for you. Here it is, Microsoft OneDrive. And then you can come up here to the right top corner and say sign in. And it's going to ask you to sign in using your Eagle ID. So I'll go ahead and do that with mine. Bear with me just one moment. And then it will bring you to an authentication page for NCCU to do so. And then ask you if you'd like to stay signed in. So I'm going to say yes. And just give it a moment to update here. So as that updates, I can see here, this is a brand new one. That's why those shiny little marks are above the A. It means something new that I've uploaded. And then you can see over here to the right as well that I have the app loaded on my computer as well. So not only can I view it in the web browser, but I can look at it on the app, which provides a little icon down here to the right. So I can bring that up and I can see that the file that I just uploaded is available. And don't worry if it takes a minute or two for it to continue to upload. Remember, it's got to go from the virtual machine into the OneDrive and then be available via web page or through the app. So it does take a few minutes sometimes. So just give it some time. So at any rate, so here's the Access database I created, and then I can click on this share option. And then I can enter an email for an NCCU student or other party, or I can change the setting the options. I can say anybody with the link, people with existing access, or specific people. But I could also choose to not allow them to edit. So either they have the ability to edit or don't have the ability to edit. If I don't want any changes made, I just want someone to be able to view what I've done, I can change the setting by just clicking on this box once, and it will disallow that. But I'm going to say, okay, allow editing, which I'm sure most of you will probably do because you're going to be working in groups and you want to make sure that your partners are able to make the changes necessary to the system. So I'm going to go ahead and say cancel here because I'm not actually sending it to anyone. So that's, again, the OneDrive system, which I think is a very good idea for everyone to utilize. The last thing I just wanted to make mention to you all is that if you are using the virtual machine because you do not have any of the Microsoft Office products, you can purchase them through North Carolina Central as a reduced discounted rate. So it's only $29.99, and that Office software is available on up to 5 personally owned computers, which means that you could purchase it, you could let a family member utilize a license. If you have more than one computer, you can put it on there. So they really do make it easy for you to own it at a reasonable rate. Microsoft itself does allow you to also own it, and I think $10 a month or something if you wanted to buy it directly from them. But obviously, this is a great deal of savings if you did it through the school. And there's some purchase options here. You can do it directly at the library if you wanted to go in and get like a little, they give you a license card, I think, with the information on it, or you can do it directly online. So a few options there for you. So again, that's just a quick and easy overview of the virtual machine and how to utilize Access within it and OneDrive. If there are any questions, certainly feel free to reach out to me, and please view the next chapter lesson. Thanks so much.